Today in our topic is socialism. What do you mean by socialism? Socialism is a political system based on public ownership of means of production that includes all the machineries, tools and factories used to produce goods that aims directly to satisfy human needs. So that's called as socialism. The father of socialism is Karl Marx. A socialism is defined as a way of organizing a society in which major industries are owned and controlled by the government. So we call a socialist economy as planned economy or command economy. In a socialist economy, all the resources are owned and operated by the government sector, as we call it as public sector. So the main aim behind the public sector is public welfare in all economic activities. It aims in equality, it aims in distribution of equal level of income and wealth and equal opportunity for all. The best example, the countries like Russia, China, Vietnam, Poland and Cuba are the examples of socialist economy. Let's go with features of socialist economy. Public ownership of means of production. All resources are managed by the government and are nationalized. It means that all the factors of production are managed directly by public authority. The second one is central planning. Planning is an integral part of socialist economy. In this system, all decisions are undertaken by the central planning authority. The third one is maximum social benefit. So, maximizing welfare to the people. Okay, so investments are planned in such a way that its benefits are distributed to the society, to the people in large scale. Okay, and the fourth one is non-existence of competition. Now, under the socialist economy, there is an absence of competition in the market. The state has a full control over the production and distribution of goods and services. The consumer will have a limited choice under socialist economy. The fifth point is absence of price mechanism. The pricing system works under the control and regulations of central planning authority. And the sixth one is equality of income. Since it is socialist economy, there is no private property and law of inheritance. So removal of inequality is seen. Under socialism, private property and the law of inheritance do not exist. The seventh one is equality of opportunity. Now, socialism provides equal opportunity for all through free health, educations and professional training. So, there is equal opportunity for all the people in the country. And the next one is classless society. The last one is classless society. Under socialism, there is a classless society and no class conflict. So it is true that socialist society, everyone are equal as far as the economic status is concerned. So everyone are equal in the eyes of the government. There is no difference between any class or caste in the society. Let's discuss the merits of socialism. First one is reduction in inequality. So there is no one is allowed to own and use private property to exploit others. So here there is no importance given to whom? To the private sector. So the inequality is reduced. Second one is rational allocations of resources. So the Central Planning Authority allocates the resources in a planned manner. The government allocates the resources in a planned manner. Wastages are minimized and the investments are made in a pre-planned manner. It is already pre-planned. Whatever plans and procedures systems are made, it will be always pre-planned. The third one is absence of class conflict. So there is no conflict between rich and poor class. Society functions in a harmonious manner. So they are equal in the eyes of the government. Fourth one is end of trade cycle. So planning authority takes control over production and distribution of goods and services. Therefore, economic fluctuations can be avoided. So next one is last one. What is it? Promote social welfare. So absence of exploitation, reductions in economic inequalities, avoidance of trade cycles, and increase in productive efficiency helps to promote social welfare. See, nowadays we have all sort of social welfare which is provided for the society. Who does it? It is done directly by the government in order to meet the needs of the consumer. So the government concentrates on the welfare for the people. So that is called to be socialist economy. Let's learn the demerits of socialism. First one is redactism and bureaucracy. So in the socialist economy, all economic activities are controlled by whom? By the government. Thus, they develop all evils of bureaucracy like favoritism, delay, corruptions and other social evils. So for example, in the government agencies, approval of many officials and movement of files from one table to other takes time and leads to redactism. The second point is absence of incentives. So there is the major limitations of socialism is absence of incentives because the system do not provide any incentives for efficiency. So the productivity also suffers. The third one is limited choice of the government, limited freedom to the government. So here we can say that the socialist economy is very rigid and not susceptible to the change according to the requirement. So all the economic activities are performed by the central authority. And here we can say that the consumer has no choice of his own. He acts as a mere slave under this system. Government produces goods and services keeping in the view for the needs of the people. So the next one is concentration of power. Here the state takes all major decisions. So it is directly done by whom? By the central authority on behalf of the government. Hence it is overburdened with daily activities and therefore it gets very less time to think and plan for the economic prosperity of the economy. Thank you.